Hi there, it's Rachel, otherwise known as Mac, and is it just me or is this latest update just quite buggy? I should say I'm playing The Sims 4 and I'm actually finishing off the high school build that I started last week. I actually think I recorded it. And obviously now the high school years pack is out, I have moved the high school lot into the new high school neighbourhood that came with the pack. And for some reason, when I loaded it in, it just looked so glitchy. Like the pathway that I'd done up to the bike shed was really sort of distorted and looked really, really weird. And I loaded it in and I just thought, oh no, what has happened to my build? Like, I spent so long doing the pathways. So the start of this video, which is essentially part 2, I'm furnishing and decorating the new high school. A lot of it is just me trying to fix what loaded in looking really weird. I should say I've not actually done any gameplay at the point that I'm recording this voiceover, so I'm not sure about all these rumoured bugs that are coming out. I know that a few, I did notice actually I opened up the game yesterday morning, which was Thursday, which is the day that high school years came out, and I naively thought that the pack would be out at like midnight. And I was like, oh no, it's not there. But as I loaded up the game, I just saw this like announcement that was like, Dear Simmers, there was a spelling error in the announcement. And it basically said that you couldn't play on short or long lifespans because of an error and a bug. And I just thought, oh no, what's happened? Like this buggy update that's meant, like I thought the update sounded so good with, you know, the wants and fears, the new body hair. And I was just like, oh, they're really taking this into a great new direction. And then I saw this announcement and I just thought, oh no, they've released a really buggy update just before a brand new pack is coming out. So yeah, it made me actually a little bit apprehensive to buy the pack straight away. I think I've said on a previous video, this is actually the first ever expansion pack that I've bought on release day. I normally wait a little while, and with most of them I've waited until they've been significantly reduced. And yeah, so it made me feel a bit apprehensive to get the new pack, which is a shame because I was so excited for it. But I mean, yeah, I've loved the build aspect so far, but to me this lot was really weird. Like I say, the distorted spray paint that I'd carried over, and also the shadows are really, really odd on this build. I don't know if you would have seen it yet, but like out on the back, sort of like the playground area, it just, I don't know, the shadows just don't look quite right. So I'm not sure whether that's just me sort of not used to the lighting in this brand new world, or I don't know. I mean, it just, something didn't quite look right. So I hope that by the end of this, when I've furnished everything, you think it looks a bit better. I do actually make some quite substantial changes right at the end of the video. So I'll have to wait and get your opinion on that. And yeah, so basically I started off, I really wanted to figure out the windows, and I've already placed the brand new door. And I was just looking for some bits to sort of make the entryway look quite grand. So I've added on this little, is it called like a parapet, I think, or something like that. And I actually end up adding a few more of those on later on. I love these new Art Deco fences we've got. I actually think I will use them quite often. I really, really liked them. So I should maybe, for those who haven't watched the original video, my part 1 I should say, I should probably explain sort of the concept for this school. I based this main bit that you're seeing now, where it's sort of like you have the hall and then a walkway across the top. That is based off of my very own high school. Now, I'm quite a few years out of high school, so it's not a perfect match. But I really wanted to have like this big sort of assembly hall, which I've turned into the cafeteria, and that's sort of the central sort of big room of the build. I took quite a long time sort of trying to work out the sort of spacing of the cafeteria in there. I actually didn't get as much in there as I thought I would. But I don't know, we'll have to see when I come to that. So the concept was essentially I was going to put the classrooms and the like the club rooms on the lower floor, and then upstairs I was going to just build some skill building rooms, And I still really actually like the layout of this build. It took me quite a while to get it right, but I think, like, and also you might actually notice here it wasn't exactly symmetrical. And I must admit, I was doing this quite late at night and I just could not work out for the life of me why it wasn't symmetrical, because I was literally duplicating rooms to build it. So apologies if you watched my part 1 and noticed that and it was bothering you, because when I saw it I was just like, I cannot believe I didn't see that when I first built it. And I think it actually takes me quite a while to figure out what it is it's further back on the, if you're looking at school as we are now, on the right hand side where I've got the changing rooms. I think they're one square smaller than the room that's on the opposite side, and I think that's where it went wrong, but it takes me quite a while to figure that out. As I say, I was building this very late at night, so I do apologise for that. So originally, before I'd got the pack and I'd just sort of seen the footage from the game changers, originally I thought I was going to go for the blue sort of colour in the furnishing, but then I put the red trim wallpaper down and I was like, oh, I actually really like this. And I did think with the cheerleading uniforms I quite liked the red and black one, so I actually changed my mind almost immediately and went, okay, this is going to be, the school colour is going to be red. And so all the lockers are red, and I do change the wallpaper in the main hall in the end, because obviously where it's 2 levels up that are open, it just didn't look right using this wallpaper. So I do change that just to sort of a plain sort of beigey colour. And I'm so excited to play this now, but as I say, I am a little bit apprehensive. So the night that the pack came out, I finished off furnishing this build. I uploaded it to the gallery because I was just so excited to share it. And I originally uploaded it in sort of one colour scheme, and then I feel a bit bad because a few people downloaded it and then I changed my mind on the brickwork and I re-uploaded it again. So I don't know, like at first I wanted sort of the lighter brick on the outside, but I just didn't really think it sort of fit the interior feel. But like I say, when we get to the end of the video you'll see the changes I make, and yeah, I'd love to get your opinion on whether you like that. I really like that new black tile. I've put that in the bathrooms, and I wanted to put some wood throughout it as well, just make it a bit warmer. That school sign that I put on the front entryway there, I used that a few more times actually. I put that in the cafeteria / hall, and I think in the computer lab as well. I really liked that actually. I always like, if I build a restaurant, I sort of put a sign up like that. So I quite like the idea that that's sort of the school logo. So I built this in a really weird way, because obviously it's a new pack. I was just going through all of the new items and sort of just popping them in the rooms that I thought I would want them in. And you'll see quite often I just sort of, even if they're not items that would go in a school, sometimes I just sort of get them out to have a little look at. And something I did have in mind while I was furnishing this was, like, I was putting some sofas and things in and I thought, oh, I don't actually want to use that in the school because that's something I will want to use in my own home when I do my Let's Play. So a few bits get changed around. With the classrooms, you can see I'm starting it here. Originally I started doing one classroom and I was using all like the science posters, and then I think I made the other one look sort of more like an English classroom. But obviously I don't actually think the classrooms in this pack are sort of defined by lessons. I think, you know, it's just an automated thing, like when you start playing you get assigned a classroom and that's the one you're in. But I liked the idea that sort of the decorations were a bit different. Something I actually really like, I've noticed it's a bit of a trend on Instagram now, is I love videos where like school teachers show how they've decorated their classrooms. I really love things like that. And I mean, with the bathrooms, you can see here I'm doing the one on the upper floor. I just duplicated the items and put them in the other bathrooms, and I used the new sinks and the new toilets, and this is a new mirror too, and I really like, in the upstairs bathroom there's a swatch where there's like graffiti on it, and I really thought that was cool. I think I only actually use it in the upper floor bathroom, because I just thought I didn't want it to sort of be too repetitive. I mean, I guess with like graffiti artists, I guess they have like their tag, so maybe that could have been one of the students' tag, but no, I only used it once. I do actually end up adding like a graffiti decal on the outside wall, and it's sort of tucked away by the bins, because I thought, oh, if that was on sort of the front or the back, they probably would have removed it quite quickly. So yeah, you can see I'm replicating that, the sign. So these 4 little sort of alcoves up there, originally in my mind, so when I was at school, we had 4 different schoolhouses with like the 4 different colours. And I was going to do something like that, but again, I thought with the limitations of this pack, only sort of having a few students in school at a time, I didn't really think that would work. So I think I end up just putting some flags and lights and stuff up there. And you can see that I'm trying to figure out the classrooms now. And actually, this is something that I changed right at the end, because originally I only put 6 different tables in each build, because again, I was thinking, oh, there's not that many students on the lot. And so although I'm sort of flitting between both classrooms right now, yeah, I do end up duplicating. I think I might do it again later because I add a few more bits in, and then I just change the posters. You can see here, this is when I figure out that that's the mysterious room, that's the wrong size. I was so happy to find that out. It was really, really bothering me because I just had no idea how I could have got it so wrong. So yeah, going back to talking about the classrooms, I basically, yeah, I duplicated it. I originally used 6 desks, and yeah, at first I thought that would be fine because there's not going to be that many students, but then I just had this flashback. I'm sure I've seen a James Turner video where he said something like he only had 6 desks and like it ruined sort of the gameplay functionality. I don't know, maybe I've completely made that up in my head, but so in the end I just add 3 more desks in each room just to be safe. I mean, if I find they're not used, I might just end up removing them. So here I'm starting to, I think I sort of do, like I said before, I do this in a bit of a weird order. So I was basically trying to get all like the lot requirements in place, because at this point I was like, oh, I mean, I think I'd probably been building for nearly an hour now, and I was like, I don't think I've saved it, because obviously when you do a lot like this, you can't actually save it until you meet all the lot requirements. So yeah, I was just finding all the different things I needed to add and putting them sort of in place so that I could save the game. And yeah, so here I end up, rather than putting like statues or flags or anything, I just do that vertical, I don't know what you call it really, it's almost just like a thing that goes on the wall, but I just pop that on over some lighting, and yeah, I think it looks quite cute. Like I say, it's not really what I was originally going for, but I think it fits the theme of the build better. So up here you can see the 2 rooms. We've got one is going to be the headmaster's office, and the other one, originally I was going to do it as like a nurse's office, but I actually ended up using all the rooms downstairs, so I just made that into a little staff room. So here you can see I'm actually just basically just going through and having a little look at all the new furniture, to be honest. I do end up changing a lot of it, but this is the head teacher's office, so I just wanted to have sort of quite a cosy area for the head teacher. I popped a few sort of nice seats in for, you know, if students need to go in and talk to her, or parents, or I don't really know how it's going to work. And I do change up the bookcase, I think. And it's just me sort of going through and trying to figure out, like, I didn't want to use a bookcase that was too big, but I knew I wanted to have sort of a bookcase and maybe some like a desk, like an additional maybe desk or table for some clutter items. And here you can see I've actually, this is what I mean about this build. I got so distracted sort of because I'd look at the new items and then get distracted and go, oh, I want to put this in this room, and swap them all over. So I've actually moved on to the library now, which is situated on the lower floor just next to the hall. It's quite simple, but I think it's effective. And again, I sort of was thinking about the fact that not many students would be using it at a time, I don't think. So what I actually end up doing is putting some of the research stations from Discover University in there. And then we just have sort of like a desk for them to do any sort of homework or work in a notebook or write in their diary. And of course lots of bookcases. The reason I didn't include any just normal computers in here is because we actually have a computer lab on the other side of the build. And I just didn't want to put too many in, to be honest. There's quite a lot in the computer lab. And I just thought that filled the space quite nicely. And I sort of wanted them to have a seating area that wasn't outdoors in case it was raining, and also wasn't sort of on the cafeteria tables. So I thought that would be quite nice. I believe they have a bit of spare time in the morning. I don't know if that's sort of when they can do their homework. But yeah, I thought that could be quite a nice area for them to do that in. So here I was just going through the Get Famous pack and popping a few sort of theatrical bits in. I couldn't actually find as many bits as I thought I would for the backstage area, but to be honest, I don't actually think that area is going to really be used. It's sort of more for the aesthetic, you know, so I wasn't too worried about that. And then I'm putting a load of bins everywhere just to sort of remind me that I need to put them in, to be honest. Because there's something I like. I don't know if a lot of builders sort of have this, but I forget bins all the time, and then it's sort of you have to find somewhere that they fit in. So yeah, you can see I'm just putting a few extra bits in the head teacher's office, and now I've moved on to the staff room. I really liked these little sofas, and you can see here I'm going through all the different sofas because I wasn't sure if I was going to use them in here, but I decided that I would probably use the other sofa in my sort of my gameplay house, if you like. And I just popped a coffee machine in the staff room, and that's when I thought, oh, I should put some vending machines around the place. So you can see me doing that now. Yeah, again, I don't really know how the staff room will be used, but like I did think about putting a fridge or something in there, but then I thought, well, if there's vending machines, like I don't really think it's sort of a requirement, you know. So yeah, I just put a few little plants in, and I decided to put sort of the stack of school folders in. I thought it's almost like a teacher's left them up there to do some marking or something. And I used that corkboard a few times. I think it's from Get to Work. Because again, I just thought, like, I remember at school sort of in every corridor there was a notice board. And here, I think I've gone back to the classroom again. I did sort of do it quite chaotically. Like normally when I build, I would do a room at a time. But with this, because obviously it's a new pack and I don't really know the items that well, it was more of a case of just going through every single item of the pack and being like, oh, where would that fit nicely? And yeah, and then I started looking through the Get to Work bit, and I thought a lot of the sort of the more industrial desks and the filing cabinets and stuff, I thought they looked quite good. You can see I've used that one in the classrooms, and I thought that could be like a little filing cabinet in the staff room for like almost like confiscated items. And yeah, I just went through the Get to Work stuff because I thought a lot of it actually worked well. It's funny, when I was thinking about packs that would go, like, I would use the items in school, I didn't really think of Get to Work. Like, I was obviously, naturally I was thinking of Discover University and, as I've mentioned before, Get Famous. But yeah, I never really, Get to Work didn't like cross my mind. I actually it's probably the second most used pack after obviously the new one. So yeah, I quite like that. Obviously, with a build like this, you're using items that you wouldn't ordinarily use in a residential lot. I mean, I sort of haven't built a community lot for quite a while until I did the Little Simsy Shell Challenge, which I've uploaded. I hadn't really done a community lot, and I mean, even with the Shell Challenge, like, that was more of a sort of, like I've said before, an after school club, so it wasn't really somewhere you'd sort of go to, say for example a restaurant or, you know, like the police station or, you know, a school. Like, it was just sort of a hangout area, so it didn't really feel like I was building a community lot. So yeah, I was going through and seeing a lot of items that I wouldn't normally use, which was fun. And you can see there, as I mentioned, I put the sciencey posters in the other room, and this is where I found the school flag, and I've added that in a few times. But something I found really hard was using like the eyedropper on that flag. I just could not do it to save my life. Like, every time I tried, it was just hitting the like the wallpaper behind it. So yeah, I put a couple of bigger ones there, but I do change that because I found like the station bit that goes behind the cafeteria. So yeah, I do end up changing that. And here, this is the computer lab that I was talking about. I put quite a few desks in. I think I actually put 6 desks in the end. And like, I basically, for the lower floor rooms, I was going through and looking at all the different clubs you can have and just sort of making sure that they all had their own designated space. So yeah, I think there's a computer club, there's a football club, which I sort of thought the gym would work for them. Cheerleading club, we've got a cheerleading room and lots of mats outside as well, and then also chess club. So I will be uploading, I haven't actually filmed the first part of my Let's Play yet, but I will be doing that, and I've already made my family this morning. They're already up on the gallery, so all information about my my EA ID is in the description. So if you want to download this or my family's or any other lot I've made, you can go and do that. All information's in the description. But I sort of had the idea that I have a teenager that's going to be in school to start with, and she is going to be sort of, you know, a social bunny. She wants to be popular. She's going to be a cheerleader, and then she has a younger sister who's going to be more sort of reserved and into the academic side of school. And yeah, maybe when she finally gets to school, she'll be in the chess club. So I sort of, like, I didn't want to just have one teenager and sort of only use half the pack or a quarter of the pack. Like, I like the idea that I could start my Let's Play and sort of discover one element of it, and then when I'm comfortable with the different parts of the pack, I then have another character that I can come in and try the new things with. So yeah, I'm really excited to play it. Like I say, I'm just a bit apprehensive about sort of these updates, and I've seen some really weird videos online of like just Sims being completely distorted, and I don't know, just a bit weird. But I guess with this, like, with my gameplay, it's not a legacy game. Like, they're brand new characters. It's in a completely separate save. So hopefully, if it is buggy, like, it won't ruin anything else I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, you can see here I'm doing the gym. Again, it's like, once I'd figured out I was using the red theme, everything sort of fell into place because all the gym items you can get in a red swatch. And like, I struggled with the placement of these bits because I don't know, I tried to imagine that if I was in a gym, which admittedly it doesn't happen often, or ever, but I tried to imagine sort of where they would be situated, and I just sort of thought the running machines would probably all be together, and then I really wanted to use like the weightlifting machine is the most expensive one, and rarely have I ever used that in a build because generally my Sims can't afford it. So I don't know, hopefully it's got a good layout, all the items can be used. And you can see here, this is the cheerleading room that I said about. So yeah, I sort of just wanted to have the big mats, they could do the group practice. And I just put some of the little chairs from Discover University in there, for, you know, any that aren't in the routine or anyone that wants to watch. And yeah, this is where I found some like benches and started putting them in the build. And here I had the idea to include like a little closet, because I really like using these wherever I can, and I just thought it's quite a good place for it to go, sort of, because I thought they can keep all their costumes in it, or, you know, that sort of idea that it's you know, it's designated for them, if you like. And this little room here, I sort of feel like maybe I've wasted a room now, because I've obviously seen there's like a janitor that walks around the school, and I just thought I'd make him a little room. But when I was putting the stuff in there, I was a bit like, oh, like, I don't know, I don't really know if it was worth doing it, to be honest. And I'm also hoping that when I come to play it, that no one else goes in there thinking it's a desk for them. I did put on the door that is a restricted door, so only staff can go in there. But I would absolutely hate, for example, if like the head teacher goes and uses it or something. So hopefully that won't be the case. And yeah, this is when I found the cafeteria, like that sort of extra shelf. So I ended up swapping that around, and again, I wanted it to be quite symmetrical, so I just added 2 of them and then just moved everything forward a little bit just so there was a bit more room. And I think we've basically almost done the build now. I've still got to do the chess room. So this is for the chess club, and again, as I did it, I was like, oh, the room's quite big actually, for sort of what it's going to be used for. But I used these new circular tables. I actually really like them. I really like the style of them. And because I didn't want the chess table to be in the doorway, I ended up actually sort of squishing them in one end of the room. And yeah, I wasn't sure if I should add a rug or something just to like break it up a bit, but I thought it was overkill having it with all of them, so I just put a rug under this one. And I almost thought, like, I mean, I don't know how to play chess, but I almost thought it might be quite a nice idea if, like, obviously it's not going to happen in the game, but in my mind I was like, they almost have different tournaments, and then the winner goes to the table, the chess table with the mat underneath. That's almost like, you know, when you win the first game, that's the table you move on to. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. I was just trying to give reasoning, I think, for why I only used one rug. So yeah, so I'm just going through now, adding some extra plants. I felt like the hallways going around the edge of the build were a bit bare. But I also didn't want to overclutter them for the sake of making them look a bit busier and then slowing down the game. So yeah, I'll see how I feel about that when I come to play it. And then I've moved on to the upper room. So this is the music room. And again, like when I was building the chess room, I was a bit like, well, maybe I should swap these around because I feel like these items actually use up a lot more space. But I actually think it's quite nice that it's quite a sort of intimate room. I feel like if you were doing band practice, they would all sort of be stood facing each other. And yeah, then we moved on to the art room. So I just put a few different easels. I love those paintings that are stacked on the floor. I think they're from Eco Lifestyle, although I might be wrong. And yeah, that's when I've just found some flags for all the different clubs. So I've popped them in all the like the designated rooms that I've made for them. And then here, I wasn't sure if it was a bit weird to have a rug in these rooms, but I just thought it sort of added a bit more character to them, maybe. I don't know, they just seemed a bit bare in the middle. But I don't know if in real life whether that would be the case, whether they'd have a rug in an art room. But I just thought it added a bit more sort of character, a bit more colour to the room. And yeah, I added in a few different knitting bits as well to the art room. Hopefully, I think I've covered most of the different skills. I might have missed something out, but hopefully not. And then this little room, I just wanted to be a woodworking room. It's a bit of a funny shape, but I couldn't really fit much in, so I just popped a shelf up on the wall. And yeah, here's, like I said, I just sort of thought I'd add in a few different plants around the build. I sort of feel like when all else fails, just add a plant. And yeah, and then I finally finished, I think, the interior, and I was like, right, let's go through and look at all the different trees. And I don't know why, but I just really expected there to be a new tree. I sort of wish that, maybe this is a bit of an ask, but I sort of wish that they'd made a tree that maybe Sims could like go and sit and read under. Like, I don't know, I think that would have been a nice idea, but perhaps quite hard to implement for sort of how much it would be used, maybe. So yeah, so I just copied a few different trees, added some hedges around the edge, just to sort of distinguish the back of the build with sort of the walkway that goes onto the football area. So as I said in my previous video, this bit of grass over here is essentially like a recreational area where we've got picnic benches, a few different footballs. I've added those extra cheerleading mats, and also some telescopes. And like, I really struggled with the landscaping. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I've really been enjoying doing landscaping lately, but there's something about the sort of the grass texture on this lot that I just think whenever you put sort of mud or anything down, it just didn't really look right. I really don't know why. I think it's something to do with like the lighting in this world maybe, but I don't know. I might go back and have another go at that. Maybe I will sort of play a bit of the game and see how I feel about it then maybe. But yeah, and then I was just sort of making the entranceway look a bit more grand, adding in some flowers. I went for the red again because I thought they're the school colours. And yeah, I sort of made it quite uniform. And I just popped a few extra ones around the pathway going to the bike shed. And yeah, I started going down the side of the build as well, but I thought that was a bit of overkill. And this is where I was just sort of looking at it, and I was like, I'm still not sure. Like, there was still something about it. I was like, I still don't know if it's quite there yet. So I started trying to see if it was like, if I needed an extra fence down here, but it wasn't that. And I actually think it was like the path was a bit too muddy around the edge of it. So yeah, I just went back and did a bit more with the terrain paint. And yeah, I do like it. I really do. It's a funny one because when you look at the pictures from like the front, it looks really weird because I've rarely built a lot without an actual sort of shaped roof. Obviously this one has a flat roof. And yeah, just finishing off with the flowers here. I was desperately trying to place them so it didn't look like anything rude. So hopefully that's all right. And yeah, I thought it was quite nice. It was cute. I really loved that little pathway up to the bike shed. And yeah, I just added a few more trees down the side here. And the last minute or so of the video is where I'm going to change the classroom, like I've already said, and add those extra 3 seats in each classroom. And then I also changed the trim to a red colour trim, just because I thought the school colours are red, so I sort of wanted that to match. And I also changed the brickwork. I'm still not certain whether I prefer the white brick or the red brick. I just thought the red brick looked a bit better. I mean, I've not changed the function room yet, but I just felt it sort of matched the colours of that a bit better. And yeah, I think I prefer the red brick. So I hope you like this too. If you do, you can download it from the gallery. All information will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you could like the video and please subscribe to see what I'm up to next. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.